Welcome to episode 19 of Podcast Soul Music Archaeology. We came of age last week, so do what you will with us. We have the second part of the Thing interview this week. This week he's talking about the DMC championships and scratch perverts, etc.
Yep.
Some quality stuff.
Yep.
This is Chris.
Yeah, this is me. And this track that we're playing lovingly in the background is from this. Now, if you saw that in a shop, you probably wouldn't pick it up, would you really? But it's the toughest version from the Hair soundtrack. But this is Galt McDermott's Hair Pieces on Verve Contrast, and this is the track Easy to Be Hard. Yeah. Brad knows how easy it is to be hard.
Especially standing behind Chris in the set.
That's because below here, I'm only wearing a basque.
I'm just going to twang Chris's suspenders.
Boing. Yeah, you may notice that the drummer on this is absolutely killing it. That's because it's Bernard Purdy, or Pretty Purdy, amazing soul and jazz drummer. But yeah, great.
Right, and here we have Yungun and Mr. Thing 12. It's the Forget Me Not 12, but this is Grown Man Business, which was the name of their album. So
and just like that.
Yeah, take it away, Chris.
And the drums just go crack. Grown man business, son, you know that this song's a throwback. It's one for those that would love to go back, just like that. And the drums just go crack. Grown man
yeah, what a track, great track. Uses that, is it Soul Power Live from that Live of the Revolution album from James Brown that we played actually on the first ever one of these. So go back and listen to it. It's on part 2, the first track. Right there, yeah, right here. You can try and grab it out.
Yeah. Whip it out.
Break is on this album, okay? So, this leads nicely into the second part of the Mr. Thing interview. Could you tell us a little bit about how the sort of scratch perverts came into...
Yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, basically I was DJing down in Tunbridge Wells. I've met First Rate because he was from Tunbridge.
Right.
So he was like the local guy everybody looks up to, and he basically met me, or heard about me through his mates, came down, battled me, kicked my ass. Then we became really good friends and we started doing gigs together. We were always record shopping in London. We would always go to Mr. Bongo's.
Sure.
Through Mr. Bongo's we met Tony Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's basically how the whole perverts thing started.
Right.
And it just kind of progressed from there. Around this time, just before I joined before the perverts started, I'd had my disastrous first experience at the DMCs. I was convinced that I was so good. I was just like, yeah.
What year was this?
Wow, 96, 95.
Right, okay.
And I didn't even get through to the evening.
Right,
I
okay.
mucked up my routine so badly. I realised that I had so much to learn. And do you know what? I'm actually glad that it went that wrong, because I was really quite convinced that I was going to be good.
Right.
At that point, basically, I decided foolishly I would use first-rate slip mats and needles after all of this time where I'd learnt to do routines with my own needles,
right,
my own slip mats, and I knew how everything felt. Also, First Rate had a real habit for taking a can of Mr. Sheen with him and spraying the platters so that it would spin faster. And of course I wasn't used to that, so everything was going way too fast for me. And of course they weren't my needles, like an idiot. And I completely mucked up my whole set and I was absolutely screwing. But you know what, I'm glad I did it, because the next time I did it, I didn't do it for a couple of years.
No, because it was
99? 98 was the first time I got placed, and that was kind of the start of the perverts properly. That was when we were really kind of starting to make our name, just before we went off and did the ITF.
Which was 98.
98, yeah. And at that point I'd improved tenfold, because I was with First Rate all the time. Like every week we would go and practice at his house.
Was it 2000 that you guys won the world?
Yeah, we
team?
won it in 2000. Yeah. So no, we won it in 99.
99, sorry.
Sorry, yes, we won it in 99. And we basically just were going up every day. Yeah. And we were doing 6-7 hour days. We might stop for lunch. Like we would get up at 8, get there for 9, start, go home at like 6-7 o'clock.
Right, okay.
We were just doing that every day. but that's what we needed to do.
Of course, yeah.
And it worked for us, and I can't knock that. And also I can't knock the effect that had on me, because I was working really hard to get better, because I was in this room with them 3 guys thinking, I don't think I'm good enough now.
Right. But you know, you still won the UK champions, didn't you?
Well, when I won the UK, it was the year after. That was a huge deal for me, because the crew had broken up. I really felt like I had something to prove. Like Paul didn't want to DJ with me even anymore. I was kept saying, you know, it really kind of messed him up. It messed us all up, to be honest. All of us. It was pretty emotional.
Right.
And I just was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it again.
Right.
And I went in, and I was on tour with DJ Vadim around that time.
Yeah.
And I was working out routines. I took records with me to practice every night. So every night we'd get to sound check, I'd practice for 2 hours after being in the car for maybe 8 hours a day.
Right.
So I would practice at sound check for a couple of hours, you know, and then that's where I came up with the Tribe Called Quest routine, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
I came up with it all just from practicing at sound checks and just doing that, and just really getting it right. I wanted it to be right, and then when I went in for it, I knew the thing inside out. I knew everything I was going to do, top to bottom, and that's why it went well.
Yeah, and obviously even after winning, you went on to the Worlds and came third.
Third, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
Look, I was up against Dexter and Craze. It was like Christ.
Yeah, that's right.
The hat trick of Craze winning.
Yeah.
And I was in amongst that. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing experience. I didn't speak to anybody the whole day.
I'm sure.
I was so nervous.
I'm sure your sphincter must have been quivering like anything.
And I don't know if a lot of people know as well, but even if you win the UK final, you still have to be eliminated. You still have to go through eliminations for the Worlds.
Yeah.
Right.
So that day, we had eliminations, and I had a whole other routine for the day.
Right.
And it jumped. And I got placed really low. When they announced that I'd got through, but I got through really low, which is why I was on quite early in the evening.
Right, yeah, of course.
But the routine in the evening went well, even though the first 2 records jumped.
Yes.
Still, same thing happened again. I think it was just adrenaline. But I covered it. I basically was just in this thing of, I have to get this right.
Yeah.
I have to do this.
Well, you obviously did.
And I did, thankfully. But, like, you know, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I wouldn't do it again, though.
No, I mean...
So stressful.
8 hours a day, driving around and...
I was doing... I mean, when I got home and I was getting ready for the DMCs, I was literally doing the same thing for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you have to do it. You can't... You know, you might practice just cutting... You might just practice one part of your routine, but then you've still got to put the whole thing together.
Yeah, of course.
So,
and since, you know, those sort of times, because obviously turntablism was huge at the time,
Yeah,
and it's a
massive.
bit different now. Obviously, it's very much Serato, and I mean, I remember also in the sort of like mid-90s, early sort of like 2000s, it was people were starting to play drum and bass and things like that, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, did you stay in it then, or did you sort of deviate away and sort of go down a different route, or?
No, do you know what? To be honest, that was partly one of the reasons why the crew broke up anyway, is because I wanted to do hip hop, and the others were kind of edging more towards the dance music stuff. You know? And you know, don't get me wrong, I always had some drum and bass records. I always had house records because I was a DJ first.
You got to rock a party.
You got to have everything.
You got to make the girls dance as well as the boys.
Exactly, and so
And the heterosexuals too.
Yeah.
So I had everything anyway. You know, it was like. But I just wanted to do more hip hop based parties.
Sure.
You know, I can play a set of that stuff.
Yeah.
If needs be, and I have done, and I still do. If I feel that it'll work, and if it's needed.
And was it around sort of like the time that the pervert sort of split up that you ended up trying to get actually did get into more of the production sort of side as well, or was it a little bit later?
I was kind of starting to muck around, not muck around. That's the wrong thing to say, but I was starting to do stuff around maybe 97, 98.
Yeah.
But I already had my sampler. I bought my sampler and my Atari off my friend's brother, and my friend taught me how to use it all and how to hook it up. And
right.
It's my friend Phil, and basically he's the same guy that taught me to DJ, who's taught me to make beats.
Yeah.
And so
He obviously taught you well.
Yeah, all respect to him, because he really showed me the basics of it, because everyone else just wanted to get on and just be 100 miles an hour and be fast, but I wanted to learn a mix. I wanted to make it sound right.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to scratch in time, and I went to Budapest with Matt about a year ago, and the digging out there was insane.
Really?
Insane. The records we were finding, there's so many multiple copies of stuff just sat there.
So do you find that like the promoters in like certain countries just go, oh yeah, I know a place where you can go to, or do you actually have to go out there and search around in some dungeon or something, like in the hostel?
A few times I've normally, if the promoter picks me up, if I'm DJing abroad, normally my first question is, look, where's your record shop? So how long have I got?
Yeah.
That sounds really sad, because I probably should see some of the country, but that is what I do, and I'm afraid that's what I'm like.
No, I'd be the same.
I've always done it.
Yeah.
I've always done that, right from even when I was with Vadim. Like, I always used to make Vad take me to the shops.
Sure.
Because I didn't know any of these places were. You had no idea. You were just getting dumped in the city.
Yeah, well, it's always good to have someone who can sort of like show you around and stuff. What would you say is your favourite or the best country for unexpected digging finds?
It's a close tie between Australia and New Zealand, really.
Yeah?
Oh, really?
Australia's insane.
I have to say I've been to Australia, and because I was doing a bit of a tour with Plump DJs out there, and that's all I did was just go into the record shops, and there's so much out there. So
much records.
Yeah, I was astounded by it. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I mean, and they got, the thing is as well, they get US pressings of stuff, and then they got the Australian pressings.
They also get the UK pressings, yeah. So
it's great. It's great out there. The amount of stuff turning up out there is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, totally.
And when you go, I always go. I'm quite lucky. I seem to go like once a year. I always ship back 2 boxes. I actually got introduced to a dealer this last time in Sydney, and I went to the guy's house, and he was playing me all these Aussie records I've never seen.
Really?
And he actually showed me that Roberto Carlos record we were talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy that played me that.
Right.
We went out digging as well. He took me to a few spots that I wasn't up on out there as well. He took me to another 3 or 4 shops. But there's so many shops in Sydney.
Yeah.
And you know, when you go to Melbourne, they give you a map. You can get a map that's got all of the record shops. And what they sell.
There's Northside Records, is it? I think
Northside is brilliant. Yeah,
is it Northside Chris? I said he's with a big afro.
I didn't meet Chris.
When
nice
I went. Bloke.
I met Ethan.
Right.
When I was in there, he pulled out some stuff for me and hooked me up. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great out there. And you know, I'd never been to Northside either. I've never been in Melbourne long enough.
Yeah.
But this is where I got a copy of this. This came from a bargain bin in Melbourne, which is a pretty rare steel band record.
Excellent.
That was a good day's digging. I was quite excited when I got back to Sydney.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, in regards to sort of like some of the stuff that you've actually produced yourself, I know that have you got anything coming out like new soon?
I got 2 tracks on Maestro's album, which I produced, which came out Monday.
Right.
So it's that fresh. It came out on the 10th. So yeah, I got 2 tracks on that.
Right.
Yeah, one's kind of all library kind of sounding, and the other one's
cool,
like kind of more funk based.
And I have to say that you've actually made yourself into the record collector guide, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, I was so happy that I made it in a record collector guide.
I know. Yeah, how good is that?
I wonder actually if there's another thing that I'm probably on in there as well, but I don't think many people know that I was involved with it. I did some scratching on a Coldplay remix.
Oh really?
For Chris Martin's brother.
Oh wow.
He's basically a friend of one of my best friend's brothers, and we were out for dinner one night, and he was there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want some scratching. I'm doing a remix for my brother." I was like, "Oh yeah, who's your brother?" Chris Martin. Oh God. So
oh, excellent.
Yeah, so there's this Coldplay promo 12,
right,
with me doing cuts on it.
Oh nice.
And I was on a plane once, and they were playing it.
Really?
As the music when you come on the plane. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, you can't get much more random than that, really.
That was
can
the
you?
most random thing that's ever happened. Yeah.
Well, I suppose we better wrap it up, otherwise because we're being eaten by moths here. But I know that you a few years back you did sort of like a couple of bits with Premiere and stuff like that.
Yeah, for BBE. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you actually meet with him to do it, or was it sort of like he was over there, you over here?
Yeah, that's sadly how it was done. Yeah,
Right.
but you know they
I've met him. Whatever.
I met him a few times. I met him a few times. I actually met him the day after I got it.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't mention it. I was too like, you know, it was the time when I'd actually properly been introduced to him, and we had a really decent conversation. It wasn't
Sure.
just like, I think you're amazing, blah blah.
Yeah.
I was like asking him about records
Yeah.
that hadn't come out of his yet, and I was like, oh, where can I get this, and is this coming out, and all this kind of thing. And we had a really good talk about that kind of thing, and I was there. It was actually DJ Pogo introduced me to him.
Really?
So yeah, big up to Pogo.
Right, yeah,
'cause
Pogo's another idol of mine, I have to say.
Me too. It's like them three. They're properly, you know, underrated. You know, they were smashing it at a new music seminar back in the 80s, and you know,
Totally.
I don't think they get enough credit for what they really did to
Yeah.
for
Welcome in
DJing
the
in this
shed.
country. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to get Pogo in here
I
actually.
bought some of Pogo's records off of him.
Really?
I went to Brazil, yeah. I
God,
got some great records off of him, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, some libraries and some bits. Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, he was such a nice
You know
guy.
what? I think the moth has flown up my jeans. Okay. But anyway.
Oh, I suppose on that note,
No, it's fine. But yeah, but basically that was what was I saying? That was done separately. Like we didn't get, and the same with the Spinner one that I did
Yeah.
as well. We didn't meet up or anything. But I've met Spinner quite a few times
Right.
as well.
Is there any new sort of like
I'm doing
US sort of like legends that you're going to be sort of like doing bits and bobs with?
No, not yet. The next thing I'm doing for BBE is another Strange Breaks and Mr. Thing comp. It's going to be volume 3.
Wicked.
They actually just sent me an update email today of what I'm allowed and what I'm not allowed. So I've got to kind of give them a few more titles, like things we can't clear and
Sure.
things that have since been bought up by majors that I can't use and things like that.
Right.
So, which is fine, you know, I totally get it. You know, we had it with both the other volumes, so I'm ready.
Sure.
I've got some more as backup now. So, but yeah, I'm doing that. I'm producing a whole album with Michael Parkinson as well.
Right, yeah,
Me and
yeah.
him are doing a whole record together. What else have I done? I've just done some cuts for Yungun's EP. He's finally got some new material
Yeah.
coming
been a-
out.
been
He's
a
coming
while.
out. He's signed to First Word now,
Right.
so he's going to do an EP for them. Like,
Yeah, because it's good that you guys have sort of stayed
oh,
together.
yeah, we're really good friends.
Yeah.
Outside of everything, anyway. Like we knew each other for a long time.
Sure.
Before we made any music, you know, we go off and we go out and party and that. You
Sure.
know, we're just good friends anyway as well. But you know, musically we're on the same page, and you know, we like very similar things. We're always putting each other onto music, and I think that's a wicked way to be for
Yeah,
a DJ.
no, I
and
think so.
MC.
I think so. And I think that's yeah, well, totally.
Too many
totally.
people just get flung together because it's like convenient or whatever.
Yeah.
But
But anyway, thanks ever so much. It's
No
been an
problem.
absolute pleasure, and it's been great doing some trades with you and having a little diggery pokery around the shed.
cool. Thank you so much for having me. I've had a great time, and thank you for the dinner as well.
No worries. Cheers.
Cheers,
Nice one,
man.
thank you.
Yeah, that was the second part of the interview. Great guy.
I like my money dirty.
And this is QNC, Frameworks featuring QNC on Hilo Records.
I am on a
It's classic.
journey. You on a
wicked.
short trip.
Perfectly named track.
What
That's
you
what it
do
is.
is horse shit.
Big up to the heroes out there.
We grown athletes. We rock like this over slow and fast beats. You were like them bad seats, far from the action. Record release, subpar reaction. Somewhere far relaxing. Ultra MC.
They will go on their website.
Yeah. That you will be seeing right below us now. Yeah, I remember Colin and Rich Hero actually. I think they used to go onto the Vinyl Vulture blogs, you know, quite a lot, and there's lots of knowledge with those guys. So definitely check out all the other stuff that they've released. I've got a few older bits here as well, so we may play them
When we come through is classic. What you doing ain't new.
Anyway,
We passed it. We classic. It's classic.
This leads nicely into our break of the week. So yeah, and this break actually I found a couple of weeks ago, as ever, at a car boot sale, and I picked it up, and it just looked like a generic sort of soul album, really. I mean, you know, but I thought, well, why not? It was 50p, so I thought I'd take it home. But and I left it for a couple of weeks because you know we were doing blog stuff and things like that. And I have to say that there's a killer break on this, an absolute really wicked one. nice is that? Nice clear drums and then goes into a nice rumbling bass line. But yeah, this is Ingram, That's All. And this is on the High-Low Records, US pressing, and it is from 1977, so quite late. So, but nice drums, and nice drums. And I have to say that listening to the whole album, it's got some really good cosmic-y bits on it. So,
Never heard of it.
nice, I think we're going to sample it. Ooh. Anyway, this leads us to our outro theme of the week as ever.
Yeah.
And over the next couple of weeks, I should say that we're going to be doing some mixes of all the stuff that we've been playing and some more delights for your ears.
We keep promising.
We keep on promising,
but we will the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Clear our schedules.
Yeah, cleared our schedules. We're going to get down to it in the shed, not in that way, but you know.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of that. Thanks to Mr. Thing. What a guy. What a guy. Thanks to Terry at Coldplay Records. I'm sporting his t-shirt this week. What a t-shirt.
And I'm sporting a Abused London t-shirt from Zombie. So yeah, big up to the UK graph crew out there.
Terry will be on next week. We've got him via Shed Sat. Oh, yeah, I got it right. Next week, and there's no trickery involved there. That is a genuine satellite we've put up there for the purpose of interviewing Terry.
Totally.
Yeah, and we'll be playing some of the coal mine stuff and all that I picked up last week. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a wicked show. So from that to this is an obscure little soundtrack, and here we go. Yeah, this is from a film called Chastity.
Something that Chris practices.
Yeah, no, obviously not. But yeah, and it's some old early 70s film with Cher in it. So before she, I believed, you know, and she actually got down in this wicked film by the looks of it. And this track is simply entitled Motel 2. So I'm wondering what she was doing in a motel when this was going on in the background. I think I'm going to have to check out the film. Number 2, yeah, in the toilet. Anyway, that's all from us this week, and we're going to leave this a bit more of this for the outro. See you then.